I'm fine, sir. Nice to see you.
नमस्कार, ठीक हूँ।
बहुत अच्छा लगा सर आपको देख के. So nice. So स्वामी जी,
या
आप मुक्ता जी को देख रहे हैं. ये इस प्रोग्राम की सूत्रधार हैं. और हमारे प्रोफेसर चौधरी हैं, IIT में प्रोफेसर हैं, प्रोफेसर हरीश चौधरी.
अच्छा
जी. और डॉक्टर हसीजा हैं.
प्रणाम प्रणाम स्वामी जी.
डॉक्टर हसीजा सर मैनेजिंग डायरेक्टर हैं इन प्रस्था ग्रुप ऑफ स्कूल्स के.
अच्छा
जी, कई सारे स्कूल्स हैं इनके, बहुत बड़े एजुकेशनिस्ट हैं. और साथ में हमारे दो मुक्ता जी के असिस्टेंट्स हैं एंड दे मैनेज द शो, कृति और मोनिका. तो इतने लोग हैं और बाकी पार्टिसिपेंट्स ज्वाइन कर रहे हैं सर. अब मुक्ता जी विल टेक फॉरवर्ड.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for making this context.
या अभी तो स्क्रीन का जरूरत नहीं है, तो हो गया. लेट अस सी द पीपल, पार्टिसिपेंट्स, एवरीबॉडी.
Monica ma'am, you can initiate this.
With a warm greetings, I extend my warmest welcome to the talk show Education 4.0 for Safe, Sustainable Societies.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the talk show organized by Samurja Educational Society on the theme Education 4.0 for Safe, Sustainable Societies. We appreciate and applaud everyone, our panelists, as well as the participants, for the zeal to share and the passion to learn with Samurja. Samurja, the sum of creative energies, what we do, just screening a small video. Over to Monica, ma'am, please.
Samurja Educational Society, established in the year 1991, has completed its gratifying journey of 3 decades. The society was conceptualized with the objective of educating children and preparing them to be morally upright and vocationally independent. Ever since its inception, the society has continued to take tiny steps forward, redesigning the educational fabric in all possible ways through various educational activities, besides conducting social outreach programs like the Girl Next Door and the Charity Wall. Samurja is constantly striving to bring together some of the most ignited minds in the field of education to introduce change in the educational fabric of the nation by providing educational vision, empowering educators, inspiring learners, and elevating various organizations through training sessions, panel discussions, talk shows, conferences, and symposiums. The society has also conceptualized and published periodicals and magazines for students and teachers. Samurja continues to explore new domains, trends, and landscapes to enrich the educators across the country by equipping them to resolve the academic challenges in their classroom to make teaching and learning more joyous and engaging. It also helps educators realize their vision and collaborate with national and international educators to have sustainable societies and a happy nation, thus redefining the paradigms of Indian education. Jai Hind, Namaskar.
We often read, listen, and speak. Success is a journey, not the destination. Failure is a part of success. Our success lies in our happiness and contentment. Success is never an accident. Lot of effort goes into it. Without continuous growth and progress, success has no meaning. The meaning of success is differential for different people. And this is a common topic of discussion with family, friends, and colleagues. More money, more materialistic lifestyle, more awards, more recognition, more friends, more holidays, more time with family and friends, fulfilling responsibilities, contributing to the society are some of the views about the success of different people. The author of Harry Potter series, J.K. Rowling, has written many a times in the series, it is the set of our choices that shows who we are far than our abilities. It does not matter who we are, where we have come from, but it matters what we want to be. Lessons of being successful are universal. Identify potential, study hard, set goals, acquire expertise, move strategically. Irrespective, whatever is the meaning of success to different people, there are some examples which compel us to think and deliberate more. Why some people identify that goal quite young in life, some at late age, and some continue to find out throughout their life. Why people have goals and systematically move towards it, still do not achieve much, whereas others do without much effort. Why some people excel in school and colleges, still do not stall early in life, while others who do not perform well in schools but have a meaningful and productive career, and they usually perform exceedingly well, more than the expectations of others. Why some average people bounce back the failures, while some brilliant minds succumb to failure to the extent of committing suicide. Some have external indicators of success like big pay package, big house, big car, still not peaceful and contented, whereas others do not have these external indicators, but still very contented and delighted in their lives. Is there any science behind it? Does SQ, the spiritual quotient, plays a major role? And what is that true? This is the topic of today's talk show, Science and Spirituality of Success. To deliberate on this topic, we have with us Swami Shantatmananji, Head of Ramakrishna Mission, Delhi. स्वामी जी, मैं आपसे अनुरोध करती हूँ कि अपना आशीर्वाद अभिवादन के माध्यम से हमारे प्रतिभागियों को दें. आप एक वर्बल ग्रीटिंग दें ताकि हमारे प्रतिभागी आपकी एक झलक पा सके. नमस्कार स्वामी जी.
अनम्यूट कर लें सर स्वामी जी.
स्वामी जी अनम्यूट कर लीजिए.
I muted it because I thought you would be disturbed. So nice. Namaskar. I'm so happy to be part of this evening, this wonderful occasion where we're going to talk about success. Of course, it's different dimensions. Now, Dr. Muttak, two things. Who are the participants and what's the likely number?
Yeah, I'll just share it with you, sir. We also have with us Professor Harish Chaudhary from Department of Management Studies, IIT Delhi. I request Harish sir to please extend the verbal greeting.
Welcome, ma'am.
Welcome, sir. Welcome to the show. I request Monica ma'am to please welcome and introduce our guest with a musical note. also have with us our mentor, Dr. Ashok Pandey, Director, Elcon Group of Schools, a leader par excellence who is known nationally and internationally for the remarkable work he does. His hobby is to inspire innovative ideas, motivate and guide educator. We welcome you, sir. Please
Thank
extend the
you.
verbal greeting.
Thank you, Mukta ji. So nice of you.
Thank you so much. Another charismatic leader, our mentor, Dr. Rajesh Sasija, Director, Indraprastha Group of School, who is known for his dynamic approaches in integrating technology and preparing leaders. We welcome you, sir, Dr. Sasija.
Thank you, Dr. Mukta. Looking forward to the spiritual, inspirational address of the two great leaders.
Welcome. स्वामी जी, आपने प्रश्न किया था कि कितने लोग हैं. एट द मोमेंट हमारे पास 45 के करीब लोग हैं, लेकिन ये सभी लोग स्कूल्स में लीडरशिप टीम में हैं, कोऑर्डिनेटर, हेडमिस्ट्रेस, प्रिंसिपल्स इन रोल्स में हैं. हाउएवर टीचर्स भी हमें जल्दी ज्वाइन करने वाले हैं, क्योंकि 1:30 बजे तक टीचर्स सब ऑनलाइन क्लासेस में बिजी होते हैं. सो डेफिनेटली दे विल जॉइन अस सून.
लाइव भी हो रहा है सेशन, तो उसमें भी होंगे लोग.
लाइव भी हो रहा है हमारा सेशन. सो I'll start this show with a conversation initiating with Hari sir. Hari sir, you are dealing with the students of management studies, and as a part of marketing management, many of the universities, they have added a paper and many researches are being conducted on this topic, the science of success. My question is, do we have any such subject or paper at IIT Delhi too? What do we teach in that? And what is your personal belief about science of success? Over to Hari sir.
Mukta ji, shukriya. Swami ji, Abhinandan. No, at IIT, we do not have a specific subject or a paper by this name. But it's a question which the students perennially ask us. Is there a roadmap? Is there a route? And I often ask them if they've read Alice in Wonderland. So Alice asked the Cheshire Cat, what road should I take? And the Cheshire Cat asked Alice, where do you want to go? And Alice said, I don't know. So the Cheshire Cat said, then it does not matter. So the first problem that we attempt to respond to is, do you know where you want to go? Is the purpose of life for each one of us different? Or is it the same? Is there a universal definition of success? Or is there not? So some Western philosophers believe achieving your objective. And they also say, well, set your objective. So the famous German philosopher Nietzsche, quoted by Viktor Frankl in his book, Man's Search for Meaning, suggests, if you have a reason to live, if there's a why to your life, then you can cope with anyhow. And what they also recommend is, set your goal, set your objective. At the same time, my belief, and we do have a course on that, a small course which we call PESR, Personal Effectiveness and Social Responsibility. We try to take the students from personal goals to universal goals. And I think it is absolutely clear that there is a clear universal definition of success in life. It cannot be as transient as earning more money. How much is more? It cannot be as transient as hoarding more food. It cannot be as transient as having a bigger house, having a higher designation, a better position, a bigger office, more people reporting to you, status, esteem. It cannot be. But probably we have to go through many of these stages. And even in the Western philosophy, the motivation theory suggests, be that the Maslow's theory or Herzberg theory, or the subsequent achievement motivation, McClelland's theory, any of the theories, that all these transient statuses would lead you to self-actualization. And that is the goal. Now, if I could draw a parallel with what we believe in India and what our scripture Saint Swamiji will obviously be in a position to explain that a lot better. Happiness can be transient, it can be permanent. And permanent happiness can only come if you are in touch, associated with nature, God, fulfilling the role that you were designed to fulfill, the purpose for which you existed. And I believe there are only two purposes. One, to become a better human being, and two, to contribute to the society, nature, environment around you. You cannot live at disagreement with nature and believe yourself to be happy. That's hallucination. Now, just a word of science, and I do not want to extend this because I want to listen to Swamiji more. Science is a tool which we developed to understand some aspects of nature. Some aspects. And it's a very, very limited tool. We believe what we see, supposing what we see does not exist. So supposing. And supposing what we don't see does exist. Now, science also tells us that we see the sun rising 8 minutes before it actually rises because of refraction of the light waves. It also tells us that below a certain size of particles we cannot see. We cannot see the virus, but virus exists. And therefore, we can clearly say that the domain of science, the range of science is extremely, extremely limited. There are tools of science, and those tools are designed to explain a little of that part. Attempting to understand spirituality, attempting to understand happiness is to me like a child taking a foot ruler and saying, I want to measure the distance from Delhi to New York. One. And my second belief, and I'm leaving it as posers to Swamiji, who will probably help us understand a little better. In my college days, I read a small book on astronomy by Ian Nicholson. And in the preface, he says, allegedly the universe is oblong-shaped. Somewhere on one of its protrusions, somewhere in the lower half, there exists a system called the Milky Way, in which one of the smaller stars is called the sun, and one of the smaller planets to the sun is the Earth, on which exists a species called mankind. I wonder why so much attention is paid to it. If we enter a school premise, the first question we ask is, who is the principal? Who is the manager? Who is managing this place? And if somebody is to tell us, no, it doesn't have a principal or a manager, it manages by itself, we don't believe it. And here is someone, maybe an atheist, who wants us to believe that the world is being managed by itself.
Sir, just a second. Monica, a lot of participants, they are posting, they are not in a position to join. Kriti, Monica, please quickly take this. Sir, please continue.
So therefore, the tools of science are highly inadequate to respond to the nature of spirituality and the nature of happiness and the nature of success. So with this, Mukta ma'am, I'll request you to ask Swamiji to help us understand parts of this mystic consciousness.
I'll just ask one more question from you, then I'll move to Swamiji. Sir, I remember from 2010 to 2015, in every conference, you used to ask one question. That was your favorite question. How many of you feel that you are settled in your life? So while I was preparing for this, I was reflecting that while you were asking whether how many of you feel that you are settled in your life, you are indirectly asking, are you successful? I mean, am I right or am I wrong? Or will you please explain what exactly it was? And it has some connection with this episode, with this conversation?
No, absolutely. Absolutely. Most of our unhappiness, and once again, I believe happiness is only a route, only a step towards achieving the goal of life. And as I said, my belief is there are just two goals of life: becoming a better human being and contributing to society. Most of our unhappiness comes because of non-acceptance of what we are and where we are. And therefore, to me, it's extremely critical for us to ask ourselves, are you settled in life? Are you at a place where you believe that you're in a position to deliver what you're supposed to deliver? Now, that's the perennial question. And of course, the answer in most cases is no, I have miles to go and miles to go.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Swamiji, I'll just share a very strange observation. While I was searching on the internet, the spirituality of success, fortunately or unfortunately, it's a very strange feeling that top 12 sites, they had the description of spirituality of success dash art of getting rich. Whereas the reality is
Mukta,
that people...
Mukta, kindly repeat.
On the website, when I was searching on the internet, the top 12 sites, they had the topic spirituality of success, art of getting rich. And the top 7 books on this particular title had the same thing, art of getting rich. But the reality is people are no longer satisfied with these materialistic lifestyles based on the superficial possession. Even Gautam Buddha said that just as the candle cannot be lit without fire, man cannot live without spiritual life. Rather, we are not human beings having the spiritual experience, but we are the spiritual being having the human experience, Gautam Buddha said. So, स्वामी जी, आपसे हम पूछना चाहेंगे कि आपके अनुसार हम सभी बच्चों को थोड़ा एनलाइटन कीजिए कि स्पिरिचुअलिटी ऑफ साइंस क्या, स्पिरिचुअलिटी ऑफ सक्सेस क्या है, इसको कैसे सीखा जा सकता है. बहुत सारे पार्टिसिपेंट्स ने ये प्रश्न भी किया है कि बच्चों को स्पिरिचुअलिटी कैसे सिखाई जा सकती है. स्वामी जी, प्लीज.
Thank you, Dr. Harish Chaudhary. So nice listening to you. In fact, I was myself about to quote that from Viktor Frankl. He has done it already. It's a very meaningful question what Dr. Viktor Frankl raises. You see, really, Dr. Chaudhary has really dealt with several dimensions of success. See, one has to clearly understand, how do we understand this idea of success itself? Now, I will give you couple of examples. They are, of course, very, they belong to maybe several centuries earlier. One, of course, about 150 years back. One is much, much earlier. See, that famous Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was a very brilliant student. So when he was in the teens, he wrote a very wonderful treatise on Nyaya Shastra. He was so brilliant. So he was crossing the Ganga on a boat. One of the fellow students was with him. It seems he was also writing a book on Nyaya. When he glanced through what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had written, at the time he was only Nimai. He said, Nimai, after this, nobody will ever touch my book. Chaitanya, Nimai, then and there took the manuscript and put it into the waters of Ganga, never to see them again. Now, will you consider him a success or a failure? It's a very big question. He never wrote any book. There's only a very small 8 sloka work called Shishtastakam, and a remarkable piece of prayer. That's all is available by way of written material from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, was considered a brilliant intellectual. Now, one of our own Swamis in the earlier times, he was Hari Prasanna at the time. He was a very brilliant student. He was in the Pune Engineering College. Final examination was approaching. He was sure to get the gold medal. But the boy who was second in the class, he badly needed it because that qualified that person for some scholarship or something like that, from very, very clear material reward, and which was really seeking. Hari Prasanna dropped that year's exam. He didn't appear at all, so that the other boy could get the gold medal. Now, how would you consider? Would you consider him a success or a failure? You see, success, getting a first prize or a mark, some reward, something like that, that is what we get. But really the success should give us knowledge, strength, so many other things. That is how we should build our life. I'm starting from, actually, Dr. Chaudhary has really raised the pitch so much. I don't want to go that far straight away. Let's go slowly. Initially, if we start understanding life, our pursuits, etc., in this manner, probably success would mean much more. Of course, if you see 2 or 3 examples, Dr. Varghese Kurian, he was not super brilliant or anything like that, but what he did in his life, it's something unbelievable. The White Revolution, and going beyond that, the problems of millions of farmers which he solved once and for all. Now, it required tremendous hard work, dedication, commitment, at a different purpose, looking to something else, not for one's own enhancement in terms of money, power, position, etc. All that made him who he was ultimately, and what all he did. So, you see, our life itself can be built around certain different fundamentals, different foundations, whereby we would always be successful. Swami Vivekananda somewhere says, the vanities of life are short and transient. He alone lives who lives for others. The rest are more dead than alive. So you see, obviously children who are looking for career, looking for anything, all those things are always there, no doubt. But then if they build their life on such kind of a foundation, they will end up as successful personalities, successful human beings. They may not become a successful corporate, big or hugely rich person, or they may or may not land up an extraordinary job and all that. But their life will be a success. See, that's very important. It's not that, there's a very, very funny saying, operation successful and patient died. It should not, our success should not lead us to something like that. Today, the biggest cases in the court fought are corporate wars between brothers, each owning something like 1 lakh crores of assets. So money has clearly gone by the wayside. Money is no longer able to give the so-called happiness or contentment or anything like that. So, if you approach our life like that, because that's what Swami Vivekananda again says, each one of us is blessed with enormous power, knowledge, possibilities, glory, and whatnot. He says each one of us is infinite, each one of us is perfect, each one of us is so powerful. So, if you build our life like that, yes, one can aspire for anything, good education, good job, whatever it is. Even while we try for all that, supposing we strengthen really our foundations. Yes, I am doing this, I am attempting this. But I am not going to put everything into this. This is not the be all and end all of my life. Yes, I will certainly try. I'll put in very hard work. I'll be very sincere. I'll be dedicated. I will do everything. But then I always know that I'm going to be a successful human being, come what may. Because I have so many other dimensions of my own personality. I may not end up a big job in Infosys or somewhere after going through IITs and all that. I may end up as a school dropout, but I may run a tea shop and maybe an extremely successful and a contented and happy person. Why not? So if you understand life in all its dimensions little differently, so even as we try, aspire, prepare and all that, we always know that because There should be a firm belief in our own inherent power, knowledge, glory, and potential, and all that. Now, each one of us ultimately only has to explore, only has to bring it out all our life till we find something which is extremely meaningful for us. Our journey continues that way. Then afterwards, we build on that, we strengthen that, we develop that further, we really become totally involved in all that. But these are all very, very essential for youngsters, for students, and many others who are trying to seek success in life. Otherwise, there are many who get the first rank in school or college, then later on they commit suicide because they couldn't keep it up later on. So all this, so succeeding in a particular event or a particular exam or a particular competition is just some, by the way, that's not important. Do you really build that success engine within ourselves? Whereas we are always successful, come what may. The result is just a part of it. Today it may not be, tomorrow I will get it. So not only that, even as we grow, if we build our life on different kind of foundations where the effort will be ultimately to realize our own innate power, glory, potential, knowledge, develop those strengths, practice those strengths, and then see how we manifest them, how they come out, how we really exercise them, then probably, each one of us, every child would find something really meaningful in his or her life. If we wrongly set our goals like that, as Dr. Chaudhary really put it, if we wrongly place the why of life, then obviously the how is also is going to go wrong. So, this is what, come what may, I am going to be a successful person in life because I know within me there are enormous powers and possibilities. Now, the real challenge is to find out how am I going to really go forward in that direction? Yes, given the circumstances in India, given the school conditions, educational system, etc., that's a little, maybe that is taking time, it's a difficult task. But as long as an individual doesn't lose this confidence, that's why, we run a beautiful value education program, which is running in 5,500 schools today. The central idea of that program is Atma Shraddha, self-belief. Swami Vivekananda said, education should instill in the students a tremendous sense of Atma Shraddha and self-belief. The rest is taken care of. That creates a level playing field between the absolute backbencher getting zeros in the subjects and the topper in the class. Because then that student clearly understands, I may not do well in computers or language or English or maths, but I am no less than the topper. This belief would totally change the dynamics of education, dynamics the way we pursue success, dynamics we pursue careers, etc. So, ultimately, every child, even as it grows up, if it grows up with this tremendous self-belief, along with the idea, yes, I am going to succeed in life, come what may. Now, the avenue, etc., where it is going to really come out, yes, I'm still searching for it, but I'm not going to give up at all. Doesn't matter, I may not get an admission in an engineering college or medical college. It hardly matters. But doesn't mean that we will not try or we will not attempt or anything. Yes, there are students who do go and they do well also. But there are enough avenues, enough opportunities for everyone. That's what we should understand. And everyone should understand, every human being, we are going to succeed in life, come what may. That is the first mantra and the fundamental and the foundational idea. But then, as Dr. Chaudhary also said, and as you also briefly referred, as we evolve in life, we become more and more, our orientation, our horizon, our understanding of ourselves, the society and the world, they keep evolving. Initially, maybe at a very young age, when things are very uncertain, we are really a little anxious, worried about our own earnings or this or that. But as we go forward in life, as our horizon expands, as we really expand as a personality, we understand that our life is not to be lived that way at all. That's what the idea of spiritual evolution, which Dr. Chaudhary talks about, starts kind of, the seed starts sprouting at that time. Then as you go further, you become more and more expanded. You understand that. Then, of course, if you have a chance to have an access to our own scriptures, our own fundamental ideas, some of the great topics, themes, ideas, you understand that this journey continues till that time when we really understand our true potential to its fullest extent. And what is that? It's far beyond whatever we may get in the material world. The world, the material aspect of life is just a fraction of our total personality, just a fraction. A huge unexplored world lies beyond that. And that journey, in its pursuit to its logical conclusion, then only it will make us a complete personality. Because according to our Shastras, according to our ancient understanding, this is not just theory. People have lived that life where they have understood that we are that infinite, ever blissful existence, knowledge, bliss. That's our real nature. We are not limited by body. We are not limited by mind. Body or mind are just a fraction of our identity. We don't have to worry about that all. We are far beyond that. We are that eternal, boundless, birthless, deathless, infinite power that we call as Atman, Brahman, or whatever it is. Of course, these are all big words. Maybe for students, they may not make meaning right now. But then basically, this is to be understood. We are not to stop our journey. We are not to conclude our exploration, our search. Till we really understand that we are that infinite, boundless personality. See, that expression comes in so many ways. For example, even during this pandemic, we saw someone running a street side dhaba, opening it up and making everybody come and eat. What is that? That's an expression of the infinite power within. That person knows that it hardly matters. I don't earn for the next 15 days. I save the lives of so many. But there are millionaires who just don't even feed their own staff properly. So, see the spectrum, the range. So, as we go on expanding like that, you will discover newer and newer words where we find that as we go forward, we'll find that more and more our own powers and capacities we explore. And when we do that, we become truly more and more altruistic. More and more the other matters in our life rather than me or mine. That is what real expansion means. That's what real growth means. That's what true spirituality means in an existential terms we have to understand.
Thank you. Very beautifully, Swamiji, you have explained. You have conveyed that the seeds of these spiritualities should be ingrained at a very early age. So when we see today, the toddlers, the youngsters, even they have their own definition of being successful, or they have their own dreams. How to make these small children understand? And definitely, many of our friends, they are having, even I myself had the program of Ramakrishna Mission of Value Education at my previous workplace, since it is confined to Delhi only. Swamiji, one question is that how to make these children understand? And is there any specific exercise, or you can say the meditation, how we can actually learn or enhance that platform of enhanced spirituality?
Yeah, you see, that is why, see, I told you, see, the program that is running in 5,500 schools, it shows the seed of self-belief, Atma Shraddha. That is the starting point. Atma Shraddha first is an ability to cope with school, with colleagues, with our fellow students who are much better than us and things and so on. It starts that way. But as it starts getting deeper and deeper in ourselves, that finally manifests as the highest power of spirituality. The seed is here in this self-belief, Atma Shraddha, which starts in the belief that I am no less than anyone. I can survive, I can compete, I am also capable, I am also going to do something purposeful, useful, meaningful in life. That may be the starting point. As you understand deeper, in the program itself, there are several ideas inbuilt. We are very, very careful, not to bring anything remotely religious into all this, because then otherwise there'll be people cry over secular, non-secular and all that. But then these ideas are really taken from those grand ideas of the infinite power and potential of the human personality, who we are. That's it. Now, Swami Vivekananda gives a beautiful definition of human personality. He says, of course, in this audience, I can certainly quote, each soul is potentially divine. The goal of life is to manifest its divinity. He says, you do this either by work, worship, philosophy, psychic control, by one or more of all of these, and be free. This is the whole of life. The goal of life is freedom, complete freedom. And that, he says, you can achieve when you realize your extraordinary power and potential. For that, he has given these 4 ideas. Each is called each yoga. There are elaborate discussions on that. So, the beginning of that is giving this even at a very, very young age. And, as a kind of support to that middle school program, we have already developed a primary school program for classes 1 to 5, where we have taken some of those ideas and conveying those ideas through stories to children in classes 1 to 5. Through that, see, for example, the 4 main ideas where we are dealing with is sharing and caring, facing challenges, doing one's best, respect for one and others. Again, these are all built on that central idea of Atmashakti. See, somehow, unless children are exposed to all, see, very unfortunately, our whole country was ruined not by Mughals, but by British. Not only they looted away all our wealth, they completely erased our cultural heritage, the way education was happening in this country. Today, we read in our history and other books something which is totally irrelevant to our country. So that is why outside this system, of course, the new educational policy is really good. I'm saying in an absolutely unbiased manner. But then the type of program that we are talking about, at a young age, children should be given some exposure to this. That's what would make them understand. See, you will be amazed, even physically challenged, speech impaired students, the way they light up after undergoing 5 or 6 modules, because suddenly they find that I'm no less than anybody. This one idea can revolutionize education, and along with that, revolutionize the individual.
Great. Professor Chaudhary, I'll just come back to you. Students, they really work hard to get into IITs. So they take admission in IITs. And of course, we cannot deny the fact that there is a level of competition, and there is something in their mind that they have to achieve success. We need to, after completing this degree, we need to get a good job. And good job, again, a definition of good job, a success. The other day, Professor Dr. Pandey was sharing a good school management. We were referring to some teachers who said, yes, I don't understand the good school, where the schools, those who pay good, or the management, those who give the freedom. So the students, those who come to you, how do you share with them about the success of life, or the science of success in life? So you're muted, please.
Am I audible now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I'll again come back to where I was before Swamiji explained to us the wonderful program that he's running and how important it is. If you are on the wrong path, then you cannot hope to achieve what you set out to be. And I totally agree with Swamiji, and I think most of us have read the book by Dharampal, The Beautiful Tree, where he says, they uprooted the tree to see its roots and never put it back again, in reference to Macular Papers and what the British did to our education system. We didn't build on our traditions. We did not build our Gurukul system into our larger mass education program. I was listening this morning to our Minister for IT. There was a webinar by UGC, and Ashwini Vaishnavji, the new Minister for Information Technology, he was suggesting that we have 3 challenges in higher education. To take the gross enrollment ratio to 50%, which cannot be done by brick and mortar institutions, it has to be technology. Two, to take technology to the furthest point in our society. And three, lifelong learning. Again, through technology, because you cannot expect people in mid-careers to come back to institutions. The problem with our education system is it does not have a kidney. Nothing goes out. It just keeps piling on. And in our desire to pile on more and more and more information, we have thrown the important part out. What Swamiji was suggesting and what he's doing needs to form the basis of our education system. It cannot be you do physics, chemistry, biology, etc., and also a little bit of spirituality. Sorry, that doesn't work. Now, the students who come to us, I'll just take a minor, if I say deviation. You know, in the good old days, the cars used to move at a speed of 20, 30, 40 kilometers. And my ambassador car used to start virtually vibrating when it reached 50. Today, they move at 100, 150. Today, we are saying they have safety balloons, airbags, 4 balloons, 6 balloons. The number of road accidents has not reduced, it has increased. With more safety, better roads, it has increased. So if you are on that fast track, if you are wired that my life is all about earning money, by the time you understand that you're on the wrong road, you're probably through with life. I was at a seminar a few days back on parenting, and I was commenting that by the time you understand parenting, you're usually grandparents. So how do we get this out of the mind of the student who's come to IIT in order to reach the top of the world in the corporate ladder? I had that. In my 20s, I wanted to become chief executive. I wanted to earn a lot of money. But I took maybe 20 years to understand what my father told me what is rich. And he said, he used to tell us, rich is a person whose expenses are less than income. And poor is a person whose expenses are more than income. Absolutely right, Swamiji. People with lakhs of crores fleeing the government, running away to other countries, staying in jails, fighting within their families. Now, is there a cure for that? One way of looking at it is, let's get a quick fix and let's get a cure. Do the symptomatic treatment. The other is, can we seed it right at the right point so that it doesn't grow into your system? And that's where we need to start. Absolutely. So when it comes to our students, as you said at IIT, we have a big challenge.
Let me rephrase. Two students, one has got a very fat package, the other has got the moderate package. How you will make that child or the rest of the group understand who is more successful?
See, we don't make anybody understand. People have to realize that. The only thing that we can do, besides our technical courses, is be role models for those children. And what I do with my students is, when we go to the canteen, we have a cafe coffee day on campus, which has a 50% discount, but still it serves coffee at 60 rupees. And I take them to the Nescafe counter and tell them I prefer the 10 rupee cup, because that tastes better to me. If I can tell them that, look, you don't have to spend 400 rupees at Barista or Chaos. The 10 rupees in the canteen is good enough. And I savor it. Maybe it can rub off. Maybe it can't. But it entirely depends on what is the mechanism in the mind of the student to catch those vibrations from the environment. You have to tune into that. You know, it's like Google. I'm developing a course using Google. How to use Google. The problem with Google is it has all the answers, all the wrong ones and all the right ones. And there is somebody sitting at the back doing an SEO, putting something on top which jumps up to the first place. So this American virus, and also my very dear friend Shiv Kheda, I keep telling him, you have done a lot of damage by this book. You can win. The American slogan, you're either a winner or a loser. Nonsense. We need to get that out. And when you tell every child, hey, you are unique. And in your uniqueness will lie success, not in chasing somebody else. If I'm good at playing badminton, I'll enjoy badminton. I can't say I want to become a Sachin Tendulkar. Sorry, forget it. So find yourself. And science also tells us there is cause and effect. There is cause and effect in nature. All of science is built on cause and effect. If there's an effect, there must be a cause. If you are one way, there must be a reason for it. If you're born in India, there must be a reason for it. If you're born in a certain family, if you've reached here, there must be a reason for it. If you become a school teacher, there must be a reason for it. You can find that reason, or just do the job assigned to you to the best of your ability, and you'll find it anyway. So that's what we try to do. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't.
Thank you so much, sir. I'll request Pandey sir. Sir, if we reflect, the CBSE initiated with the value education question embedded in every subject, be it science, mathematics, chemistry, biology, economics, accounts. That 5% question paper has to be from the value education, trying to integrate the values in our life through our different courses. But it did not stay for long. So I am requesting you to please share, since you are working with so many other organizations in the policy making also. Shall we go for it? Shall we not go for it? Or shall we take it as a separate subject? Or shall we work more on integrating the values or the rules, the principles of success in our curriculum?
Thank you, Mukta ji. First of all, let me express my gratitude to Swamiji and Professor Harish for their brilliant enlightenment that they have given on this topic. Give me 2 or 3 minutes. Quickly, I will answer your question and a couple of things I'm very tempted to say. As far as value education question is concerned, I don't doubt the intention of the CBSE, but I would say it was very, very desperate attempt. And just imagine if you ask a child where the child is going to get a mark or 2 on the answer. And the question is that if somebody is out in the rain, will you offer him an umbrella or not? Can you imagine a child will write no to it? You see, so let us leave it at that. The second thing is Swamiji's program that he mentioned. If we really have to have any integrated value education program, that is the program, Citizens Awakening Program, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
I leave it at that also. In the context of what we have discussed, I would not venture into saying anything about science or spirituality or success, but drawing upon what both these distinguished people have said, I'm only giving you 3 examples. Quickly, I'll say, let me see if I finish all those 3. So the Tokyo Olympics 20/21, the Qatari pole vaulter, and another, I think, European, I just don't remember the country, both of them jumped the same height. And then they had to take a call whether they will go for the next height or not. And the other gentleman was not feeling well. And the choice was given to the Qatari pole vaulter, right? That whether would you like to take the jump or would you like to share the gold with this gentleman? And he said, I would like to share the gold. I'll not go for jump, right? All his life, he has prepared for that gold. But when the moment of reckoning came, he said, no, this gold is worth sharing rather than pocketing. So I think that is one answer. The second answer is, I hope I'll not be misunderstood. I think all of us should visit this year's Padma Shri Award winners. 17 of them, and I bet none of us knew about any one of them. So somebody is giving a dignified burial to a dead body for several years. Somebody is providing food. I don't know where the food comes. Somebody is providing affordable education who had no access to education. Somebody is doing something to save the climate and environment. I think there lies the success of those people, right? And the last thing that I want to tell you is a story which I came across recently. How do we know whether we are successful or not? I think it lies somewhere in self-appraisal, you know. And what is that self-appraisal? The story goes like this. A young boy of 14 or 15 years was calling at a public booth near a supermarket. And the supermarket owner was standing there. And the conversation of the child is that, ma'am, do you need a grass cutter? And the lady said that, no, I have one already. How much you pay? She said, $20. He said, no, I'll take only $10. No, ma'am, I'll take only $5. And the supermarket guy said that, you come, I'll give you $25 in my supermarket. And at the end, just to cut short this story, the story was, the boy said, I was just testing my own performance. I'm the one who is working at that lady's house. And I was just testing whether my work is satisfactory or not. And now I know that I'm irreplaceable. I'm indispensable. That is success to me, right? I think this is the defining moment for all of us to realize what success is and what success is not. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Beautifully you have explained. Each one of us, we need to understand, we need to realize that we have infinite potential, and each one of us need to continuously move an iota step towards the success. Success, what I mean? Success means satisfying ourselves, thinking that we are doing something really good, something for the society. People do ask me, why do you do this talk show? What you are getting? What is the benefit? So it's the simple answer. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Professor Chaudhary wants to say something.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry for interrupting, Mukta ma'am, but I would like to slightly disagree. No, we don't need to move an iota towards success.
Okay.
Because as Swamiji said, we are successful.
Yeah.
We are there.
We are there.
I am already successful. I don't need to move anywhere. Yes, I need to do the duties assigned to me. Sure, to the best of my ability. And that's wonderful.
Yes, that's wonderful. So thank you so much for correcting me. Really want to listen more and more to all the learned people, Swamiji, especially Harish sir and Ashok sir, but time is not permitting us. Thank you so much for the insightful. I'm sure all the participants, those who are connected with us through Zoom or through Facebook, will definitely be enlightened. Meenu ma'am, you have raised your hand. Meenu ma'am is there. Do you want to ask some question? And Rajwant Kaur ma'am. Meenu ma'am, Monica ma'am, kindly give the audio right if they want to ask some question.
Yeah, ma'am, given.
Yeah. Meenu ma'am, the audio rights are given to you. You can unmute yourself and ask the question. I think she has logged.
Rajwant, write in the chat box if she likes.
She has lowered the hand. So with this, we conclude the session. Thank you so much, participant. Thank you everyone for being here. So over to Kriti ma'am for the formal vote of thanks.
Thank you, Professor Harishji. Namaskar. So nice.
Namaskar.
Yes, sir.
Namaskar.
Thank you, sir.
Monday is our close friend, so I don't have to mention separately.
That's a blessing from me, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, Kriti, go ahead with your formal thanks, please. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Spirituality is awakening of wisdom concerning how we effectively relate to each other and to the world. Science seeks to enlighten our minds, while spirituality seeks to awaken our hearts. Good evening, respected panelists, Swamiji, Professor Harish Chaudhary, sir, Dr. Ashok Pandey, sir, Dr. Rajesh Hasija, sir. I, Kriti Kapoor, on behalf of Samurja Educational Society, extend a very hearty vote of thanks to the honorable delegates who blessed us with their presence and took out valuable time from their busy schedule. I must mention our deep sense of appreciation for all of you for empowering us by sharing your wisdom and experiences. I would like to extend a special thanks to Dr. Mukta Mishra ma'am for inspiring us. She's the guiding force. I extend my big thanks to our Samurja team for their support and especially Monica ma'am for her support and confidence in us. Once again, thank you everyone. Namaskar.
Thank you.
Namaskar and thank you to
Swamiji.
you
Thank you.
also.
Thank you,
Swami.
Professor Chaudhary.
Thank you, Chaudhary sir.
Thank you, Mukta ji. God bless you. Thank you, Kriti and Monica. All the best.